August 19th.
Good, okay. Turn this thing on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 6 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order, welcoming in all visitors, which we don't see a heck of a lot of here this evening, and welcome any public comment that may be unrelated to our agenda items this evening. Seeing no interest in that, Scott, I will look to you for possible changes to the agenda.
Under number 8 for the Liquor Commission, a request to cater on June the 12th at Quail Run from 5 to 8 p.m. Catered by La Casita.
At Quail Hollow, huh?
The only addition I have.
Second class first fifth. Yeah, I thought we already had that, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
No, that's a different one.
That's a different one,
Different one,
yeah.
Okay.
Who owns the Quail Inn, Charlie?
Mei Ling.
She still does.
She also owns the Deer Hill. Yep, the one up in the hill.
Oh, she bought your hill
Not
too?
Deer Hill. What's the one on
Cooper Hill?
Cooper Hill? Yep.
Uh-huh. So the Weeders are gone too. Well, all right. All right, very good. All right, with that in mind, I'm going to approve the minutes of May 6, 2025. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes of May 6, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
Under action items, the select board to appoint a representative for tax sale. Tax sale is June.
Whatever that Wednesday is.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's the 23rd.
And we're all looking at
Yes.
Tony.
Oh, you know,
June
I've been
25th.
doing it the last few years.
And we're
And I
very
appreciate
happy.
it, but we have some new members, might be able to get some exposure.
Is it?
in Portugal, I think.
Yeah, there you
go.
It's Wednesday at noon. So we
When I
usually
found out that
gather a little before noon.
I couldn't buy the stuff that I was auctioning off. so.
All you want to be present for is to take possession of it, as long as it's not the Lake Lapona Dam. All right, but we would take possession of it
Yes, sir.
if nobody bids on it. That's.
I can't do that one, Tony, but I'll do the next one.
Yeah.
I've got a workshop.
So how about one more year, Tony?
Yeah,
One more year.
This year.
Thank you.
2026.
Thank you.
I mean, you might not have to, if you don't have.
Right.
It's a very, very, very small list.
Tony.
Is it, how many numbers, what are the numbers right now?
8.
The numbers.
What
How
time
many
is it start?
parcels right now if we went
I
to?
think I've got like 4,
4.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
like, you know, a couple $1,000.
Keep it posted.
The tax sale, because of the change in the state, ruling on what you can take to tax sale, our list is much smaller to get.
okay, and that's all right.
They have to now be over 12 months delinquent, so this is for anybody who's still owed from February 24. We're the only people eligible.
Do they allow that when they bill us, for like the education tax and whatever? Isn't that
No,
amazing?
If you look at your orders, you'll see the
Jesus,
almost $5 million.
I know, unbelievable.
For the half year.
But before we get charged interest or penalty.
Don't do as I do as I
Not
say.
there by a date, it's penalized.
Okay. All right, so do we need a motion to appoint?
No, we're good.
Okay, all right, so Tony's gonna do that.
The
Tony, we
select-
thank you for doing
Yeah,
that.
the select board to possibly
Thank you,
approve the gravel bid. Marshall Dix is here.
We got more bids back than we've gotten in a lot of years. The fellow who is the least expensive, we have actually went and got some other gravel and tried it to see what it was gonna be like compared to the other people, because we haven't bought gravel from this guy before. The town has bought from a pit beside this guy's gravel pit. It used to be Burgess Brothers pit, so the gravel's a different color. It's the only thing I'll pre-warn you, but his price is the least expensive, and it's still a good material. It's gonna have an orange tint to it.
An orange tint.
Yep.
Why?
Iron content there?
Because the rock's orange.
Really?
So it's not real orange. It's just, it does have an orange tint to it.
I can see it in the paper now.
So it'll show up.
It will show up. You're good. People are gonna say, what are you putting on the roads? I just guarantee it. Till it mixes in. He's
Okay.
also close. He's only, that's one reason why he's able to keep his price down a little bit. He's only 22 miles. It's just into Bennington by Henry's. You take the left and he's out there 2 miles.
Is that's Soretta?
Is that the end of Fillmore Street?
I don't know the names of the road. He's on Sawmill Road. You know where Bennington Fish Hatchery is?
No, but I know that if you turn left to Henry's and then take the next left, that's Fillmore and so.
So you go out there, then
Yeah.
the road wise, you stay to the right.
There you go.
And then the fish hatchery's right there. You take the left, that's Sawmill Road. He's at the end of Sawmill Road.
You only needed one.
That will take care of everything. He does not have stone right now and we'll wait. He is gonna be crushing again. And we'll see what he's offering for a price on the 2-inch stone that we won't need until next year for Lake Honda Road. Next.
So do you know other towns that have used them?
What's
Do you
that?
know anybody else that has used this outfit, Soretta?
Dover started using them earlier this year
Okay, all right.
and they're not having any issues.
No problem. Okay.
No problem.
And then
And he-
the orange tint too?
They got the orange tint going too. And he's done it before, not for Wilmington, but he has had gravel before. He just stopped doing it because there was so many people. Now he's realized there's nobody, the people doing it, and he can't buy material. So he's a big trucking outfit he's actually out of Shasberry. It's right in Bennington.
But 6 quotes is astounding.
That's
That's
actually better
record,
than
that's
we got.
record setting.
In
In a
many
long time.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Wow. So things perhaps are easing up then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what pulled
Well,
out. There's more options.
that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
There's
Rich.
more options.
It's hopeful. Yeah.
Okay.
It just depends on weather.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Got it. The select board to possibly approve the gravel bid. Serato. 125.
We have a second?
Sorry.
All right. We have a motion to second to approve the bid submitted by Serrata from Bennington for gravel and stone. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Scott? Thank you, Marshall. That's good news. That really is good
The
news.
select board to possibly approve the assessor's request of a 30-day extension to file the grand list under Title 32 Vermont statutes annotated 4342. This is a housekeeping.
Make a motion. Do we approve the assessor's request for a 30-day extension to file the grand list under 32 BSA 4342?
All right, do we have a second?
Sorry.
We have motion to second to approve the request for a 30-day extension to file the grand list under 32 VSA 4342. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
The select board to possibly nominate Samantha Kondracki, who happens to be in the House, for free admission to attend the Vermont Community Leadership Summit. The history, this is the Vermont Council on Rural Development, VCRD. They've been hosting a wide variety of summits since 1999. They are relating to climate change, Vermont's working lands, supporting local leadership and more. And most recently, they host a yearly Vermont Community Leadership Summit with over 500 Vermonters in attendance. And Samantha graciously has accepted my recommendation, and now the rest is up to you. So we have sent young emerging leaders before. Now, I will say that at today's summit that's put on by the what's it called? Southern Vermont
Yeah, I think BECC does it.
BDCC, but it's
Southern
called Southern Vermont
Economy.
Economy Summit.
yeah.
She was recognized and honored as an emerging leader in the county. It's very nice, very nice award. They do this every year. They find people, and every year there's like more and more. I think what they have, over 20, 25.
They have a lot. It's
They have
really
a lot.
nice, yeah.
So every year they recognize emerging leaders, and Sam has been recognized in that category.
The only concern is it's called poaching. I get very worried about that. No, we've seen it at that Wilmington Works, and we've seen it at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Those people that they perform and they're very proficient, they seem to get poached and we never see them again.
Well, I will say Gretchen goes to this and she is planning to go this year, so she can protect me.
I think it's about protecting us.
We have our guard up, okay? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm very serious. We've done it with the police, we've done it with all of it. But I know. Yeah. See, this is what happens if you're successful. We get to lose you, all right? Sam, I think that's fantastic. And I think the request is very much in order.
We need a motion?
Yes, I do.
Make a motion. We nominate Samantha Kondracki for free admission to attend the Vermont Community Leadership Summit.
Second.
All right, we have motion to second to nominate Samantha Kondracki for free admission to attend the Vermont Community Leadership Summit. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Sam, we thank you very much for doing this
Thank you, guys.
and congratulate you on this emerging leadership. This is terrific.
Big
We
Sam.
need the youth. That's the big thing. We need the youth.
Don't forget to come back.
That's right. Don't forget to come back. That is correct.
Thank you, Sam.
Round trip tickets only.
Number 4, are you ready? The 1% request.
Yeah.
Select board to possibly approve a 1% request from the Energy Committee for a window dresser program in the amount of $2,700. And Mr. Boyce is with us tonight.
Good evening. I'm Bob Boyce, Chair of the Wilmington Energy Committee. And I see that the request for funding for $2,700 is in your packet. I can give a short summary if you'd like, or handle questions. It's up to you. Summary?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
The Wilmington Energy Committee is partnering with the Rotary Club of Deerfield Valley and the town of Bennington for 2025 pilot program to improve home installations and reduce home energy costs by constructing and installing low-cost window inserts for local residents. The program is being coordinated by a 501c3 charitable nonprofit organization named Window Dresser. Window Dresser conducts window insert programs throughout Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. 1% fund request will cover the cost for marketing the pilot program and also covering the cost of window inserts for low-income homes that participate in the program. But this is a pilot. We're trying to get a sense of whether we can sustain this effort in the area. We're a small committee of basically 6 or 7 people. And we immediately went to the Rotary Club for volunteers. Then we went to the town of Wilmington because they have a mature window dresser program. So we're using their expertise and hopefully mentoring with them for our pilot. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Does this run into SEVCA at all?
Pardon?
Does this run into SEVCA? SEVCA?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, SEVCA is the one that does the installations.
Yeah,
These installations are really a very inexpensive alternative to full windows and some higher inserts. So these are wood and plastic fiber inserts.
Just a nonprofit out of Maine, I believe.
And it's they are out of Maine, but they primarily do work in the northern New England states.
And Bennington has a group
Yeah.
that is doing this out of the fire department. Is that what they're doing?
Pardon?
They're doing this work in the fire department? Is that what you told me before or no?
No. We're doing it.
In Bennington, I'm saying.
I'm not sure Bennington, I think it's a separate committee set up, but I think like the town of, what do I say, where Middlebury is, what's the town? It's Middlebury, the town, right? They're primarily working with Rotary. Rotary's doing it
All right.
in,
Yep.
Okay, all right.
How do you qualify the households?
I'm
How
sorry.
do you qualify the households? How do you pick the homes that are getting the windows?
No, we haven't yet. We're actually in the process of, we've got our volunteers. We've got 4 or 5 volunteers that have come forward to work with us. They will be trained on the 29th. We're trying to arrange some hands-on training with the town of Bennington to have our measurers go with them and do access to measuring protocols. We are starting marketing now, so you may see a press release after the funding is approved in the Deerfield paper. And also we're trying to get on some of the agendas of some of the outside thingamajigs.
So,
Yeah, you're right. The outside sessions in town, the Blueberry Festival, those types of things. The idea is market people to call us, and we can set up measurers and installation and everything. Everything is geared towards what they call as a construction session in the end of October. So we're trying to get, over the next 3 months, we're trying to get people to sign up. Our goal is just 50 inserts, which is roughly 10 buildings.
All right.
so just when you're saying 10, has there been any research done to say we have 10 homes that need this, or we have 20 homes?
Well,
That need this?
well,
How do we know what the number is?
I mean, we're assuming it's there. Given the experience I've gotten from other towns, and also from the project manager for Window Dresser, the need is there. And it's just a matter of advertising, getting people. We've done some original researches. We've gone to a lot of the nonprofits in the area, Twice Press, some of the fuel assistance programs, and we've talked to their directors on helping us outreach. And we're just ready to go once we get the funding.
But we don't know who needs it, or
No,
who potentially
we don't
needs it.
specifically know outside of it in general.
So we think there's a need, but we don't know for
Right.
sure.
Okay. Any more questions?
Nope.
I'm gonna throw in, I'm on the energy committee too, so to help Bob explain a little bit of this. So it was brought to the energy committee to set up, but we as a town don't know if there's enough. They want you to do something like 200 inserts a year. We don't know by far if
Who's
there's
they?
that much need.
Who's they?
Window dressers.
Okay.
To do this by ourselves. So we wanted to partner with another town, either Bradboro or Bennington. Bradboro has this program already. Bennington has it. There's a few other towns around that have it. They're willing to let us partner with them. And they will teach us how it's done and help us advertise and get the people to come to us. It's not a free program for the person, totally free. To get a window, to have your house done with these window inserts, they have to donate time. And the little bit of money that Bob's asking for is to help us get the information out to the town people, saying this program's offered. If you come, we'll look over your stuff, and if you can't afford these window dressing things, then the money, window dressers will support it.
Yeah.
There's people that can afford it, and they'll donate some money back to help pay for the people that can't afford it. But they also have to donate time. For every window dresser, it's a couple hours, an hour they're supposed to work these sessions. All the labor's free, that does all these window things. Window dressers supplies all the materials. There has to be a team that goes out and measures the windows, because these are window inserts like in here, for example, they actually slide right into the
Window
case,
frame.
the window frame, and they're made to be reused to come out, to go in. So that's what he's looking for,
Okay,
if that helps a little bit. So we're partnering this year with Bennington, we'd like to, because we don't know how much of a need there is, and window dressers won't help us unless we can say we can do so many. If we partner with another town, they're just saying, we'd like you to do 50 windows this year. And we have to, as a committee, have to find people that are willing to help too. So it's not, the money he's asking for is really just to get this information, see if people want it.
It's to cover, it's essentially.
Cover the cost.
The low end.
So we're partnering with Bennington to get to 200, which is what window dressers want, that number.
That's, I believe it was 200 windows.
I mean, the long-term goal is 200. I think they've set up a pilot goal of 50.
Window
For us.
dresser,
For us,
Yeah,
just for Wilmington.
yes, they asked us.
okay.
Okay.
He's right, the long-term goal.
Excuse me, 50 between here and Bennington?
No,
25?
just one.
50 and.
Only the Wilmington area.
So though you said 200 is what window dresser wanted, and that's how we were partnering with Bennington.
Right, and Bennington's already doing it, so we're just adding on to Bennington's count.
Do we know how many Bennington did last year?
I do not know offhand.
No, I know that, in talking to the director of the program, Bennington did well, and they've actually upped their goal to 250.
I think you'll find more than 50 here.
yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Well, it's only 10 homes.
Yeah.
Right, it's, yeah, because they do cap how many windows per home you can do. That's how he's coming up with the 10 homes.
I mean, you can just take a ride around the
Yeah.
area. and you can-
Literally,
you can see the need.
It's there.
And
It's
it's
just a question of
1%
getting
money.
word around, I think.
It's 1% money as well.
Yeah, all right, so it's community development, I guess. All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
Making a motion, select board to approve a 1% request from the Energy Committee for a window dresser program in the amount of $2,700.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the amount requested by the Energy Committee for $2,700 for the low-cost window insert program. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
So,
Christine,
Would you like to go on the Water and Sewer Commission?
I'll move the we went to Water and Sewer Commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Second, I think.
We're in the commission.
So water district, the water department, I still call it a district, even though I guess it's more of a department. I was gonna first kind of do a quick overview of where we are with fiscal year 25, which we are finishing up. I believe Jessica sent you the budget status reports in your packages. So right now, the water and the sewer bills are being done together. They're being billed out 3 times a year, and the last bill is due June 15th. So we haven't finished collecting all of our revenues, but we're looking good for what we will be having for the year. I did want to mention there's one line item that right now is listed as training, but that's also our part-time operator line. Next year I'll be switching over to an assistant operator completely. There's a miscellaneous line item that has a couple $1,000s in it, and that was for a dehumidifier that they needed, I believe, up at the treatment facility itself. You'll also see that there are FEMA revenues and expenditures that were not budgeted. Those were for the access road that had been washed out because of the heavy rains almost 2 years ago now. So there's a expense to that, and then there's also a revenue to that. Overall, the water fund, water district department looks like it will be finishing the year in a good position with probably a small surplus. So moving on to the budget for fiscal year 26. There's one change to the budget that we gave you, and that has to do with the line 29 telephone. There's actually going to be 2 phones for the department now because we'll have 2 full-time operators. So that line item is going to go up to 852. So the total of the budget will be 431,564. Really, the only increases have to do really with personnel and benefits because of we're seeing this year as kind of a transition year, possibly with many changes. So we've tried to base it for what we anticipate the full costs will be. Because of that, the rates for the water district, we're not setting them today. We're gonna do that later because the first bills won't be due until September. But the rates will probably most likely go up because of this.
May I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Is that line 2 where the income's gone up 27%?
Correct. Yeah, because the way that the water and the sewer budget works, it's very similar to the taxes, but you don't see it in the budget itself. But the water income line is basically what we project to get in, and that has to cover the full cost of the expenditures.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
So that, keep in mind, we're talking about moving a part-time water operator to full-time. We're talking about a potential transition with a retirement tentatively scheduled for January, and a new organized department that you have not seen yet, but is the public utility department, which should encompass wastewater and water, or sewer and water. And then that will be headed by one superintendent. So we budgeted for all of that, including the retirement payoff that would occur as well. So that's the major part of the increases being shared between 2 budgets after January. And before January, it's benefits and the operator's full cost, the new full-time operator. Oh, yeah.
So that's really all I have for the water district. So unless you have other questions.
How about any word at all on the increase that we're going to see with the medical insurance? Now that Blue Cross has said that they're going under, or whatever the hell's wrong with them?
I have not heard anything, and I don't expect to hear anything until October at the earliest,
Okay.
as far as insurance goes. It's always an interesting
I
thing.
never trust them.
Well, I do know that Blue Cross just sent out a notice on the weight loss drug, Zepbound, indicating that they would not carry it after, I think, starting in January. That was my understanding.
Any GLP-1 drug, unless you're a diabetic.
Yep. So they're making some moves now on prescription. I don't know what else is affected. That's the only thing that's affected in my household, which is kind of strange, since you would think that they would want to be reducing, heart type issues. But anyhow,
But I think the charge starts like $1,000 a month.
it's off. I mean, the price is off. It shouldn't be that
It's
high.
ridiculous, yeah, so a lot of places won't prescribe it anyway, so.
All right. So, before we move on, do they need to vote on the water budget?
You want to do it both together? You want to,
Whatever works for you. I thought they had to be water commissioners and then sewer commissioners.
well, they're in water and sewer commission.
Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and finish, since it's sort of it has more of a symbiotic
It is
relationship
becoming more
this
and
year.
more every day of a joint, joint,
fine.
group, definitely.
So the budget, again, so just drop back real quick, the water budget is going to be $431,072.
431,564. Because I had to change the phone. There's a lot of pieces to adjust, and that was one that I didn't realize till after we had sent it.
So if you'd like to vote on it right now, I guess it would make life simpler for,
It'll make your minutes make sense, but it's
The
fine.
minutes.
We'll make do.
Yeah, let's vote on the bottom. Would like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the Water Commission to possibly approve the full year 26 water budget.
In the amount of $431,564.
Yes.
No, I wanted to get that thing right too. All right, we have a second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Scott? I'm sorry.
we're going to wastewater.
Or
Sewer
sewer,
budget, sewer
whatever you
budget.
want to call it. Whichever one works for you.
Back to the sewer.
So sewer, same thing, fiscal year 25, which we are finishing up now. There's really not a whole lot that I have to talk about with this one either. It's the same as the water. Like I said, they're joint bills, so the last billing is due June 15th. We are collecting that now, and I don't see there being any major issues with collecting the majority of that. They do still have their second half of their USDA loan is due in June as well. So that'll be paid out. And then I assume that based on the numbers currently, it looks like we'd probably finish the year out again in a decent position with maybe a small surplus for them. As far as their budget goes for the new year, the changes really that are happening in the water and sewer district will not affect them a lot this year because they already have the 2 full-time operators. So their budget is only up by like 3.21%. We have actually taken on, I believe, a few extra what we call ECUs, which is how we determine what we charge for the rates. And anticipating that when we do set the rates, it'll either lower the rate or keep it at the same and then have money to go into the capital fund in addition to what we are looking at here. So, any questions?
More out of curiosity, so in 24, we had $4,200 in investment interest, and we went to 100, and now we're going to 1,000.
What line are you on, please?
Six.
6.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and look to find out why we had that much that year. They may have had more money at that point that was earning more interest. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
24.
Okay, so bottom line budget, 483,590.
48359, yep,
Okay, all right.
90. 485,390.
Well, 590, I said, so we, oh, never mind. All right, somebody like to make a motion for the sewer?
We'll make a motion for the water commission to approve the fiscal year 26 water budget in the amount of $483,590.
Sewer,
Okay, all right, this will be the sewer,
sewer.
okay?
Okay.
All right,
Water, I'm sorry, sewer commission.
okay, so we have a second.
Second.
All right, motion is second. To pass the budget for the sewer department for fiscal year 26 at an amount of $483,590. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Christine.
It's not done yet.
Hold on, we're coming in water and sewer.
We're out of water and sewer commission.
Oh, you're gonna give us the
You gotta
recap
make
for
a
us?
motion, or do I?
It's gonna give us our recap, okay?
All right. So highway, fiscal year 25 overview. Real quick. So on the first pages in the revenues, we had started a couple years ago budgeting for grant income because we were getting grants consistently, which are the Better Back Roads grants and the grants and aid income. We never know exactly how much the expenses will be or what the grant will be. So we didn't have an exact dollar amount, but we have something in there kind of as a placeholder. This year, we actually also received a paving grant, which was nice. And you will see on the last page, there is a Better Back Roads paving grant and grants and aids expenditures. Some of the grants for the Better Back Roads and the grants and aid, a lot of those are the highway guys' hours and equipment hours. So they're not gonna be dollar for dollar. And then the highway also received a little bit of FEMA money because they did help out with the water access road. So that was reimbursing for their equipment and their time. Overall, they are on track to squeak out the year and probably have a small surplus as well. Any questions on that one?
No?
And last but not least is the general fund. There was a couple of miscellaneous line items I just wanted to point out because they're not budgeted line items and they're ones that I figured I would explain what's in them. So there's, on the first page, there's one called miscellaneous grants. That is mostly the opioid money. And then we have a brick grant, which is the LMGP, I believe.
LHMP.
LH, okay. There's a lot of letters out
Yeah,
there.
it's
BRIC.
You're mixing that up with HMGP though.
There's several.
Since what do you show? No,
I know.
that's highway. I don't.
On the second page, I wanted to
Hang
make
on, wrong
note
page
of,
now.
I wanted to make note of, there's a line item called miscellaneous income, which we
All
usually
right.
have a few things in there. This year, we actually got a surprise refund from Blue Cross Blue Shield as part of our group that we are part of. So 15,000 of that 23 that came in was for the Blue Cross Blue Shield refund of our health insurance. And then
That's on page 2.
that's on page 2, yeah, near the top.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't really have any expenditures that were out of the ordinary, I didn't feel, so I didn't have anything to talk about in those. They all seem to be kind of where we would expect them to be independently and kind of overall. Based upon where we are right now with tax collections and what I anticipate for expenditures through the end of the fiscal year, I would say we are in a good position and hopefully we'll have a small surplus. And that,
Heard some of what you just said.
Huh? Motorcycle?
Yeah.
So that's really all I have.
So we don't have to lose sleep over the budget here this year. That's which is right.
It was a little closer feeling this year than it has been some other years. But I think with where we are right now, I feel like we will probably be okay.
Okay.
Than not really being able to take as many properties to tax sale as I normally do. I was worried that that was going to leave us with a much larger outstanding group of taxes that weren't paid, but it's looking okay at the moment.
Okay.
So I think we're.
But you only have 4 items to go to tax sale anyway?
Well, yeah, I mean, my list was much shorter. I mean, I think usually I'm up around 60, and I want to say I started with maybe, I don't think I was even at 20. I want to say maybe 15.
Well, that's a great sign, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, it's previous years, if people hadn't paid the August installment and the February installment, we took them to tax sale.
Right.
But with the new law, the way it is, they have to be a full 12 months delinquent. So they had to owe from February of 24. So basically they had to have at least part of that third installment delinquent in order to be able to send them a notice.
So if it's going to run for the 12 months and somebody decides they'll give you maybe 10% of the whole thing, will that hold them off for a tax auction?
The way that I have always done it is that once they get that letter from the attorney's office, they either need to pay in full or make a full plan of how they're paying off their balance.
Okay.
We don't let them off the hook just because they send in, like if they paid off what was owed in last February, they would, once they get that legal notice, they still have to make plans for the rest.
We have a number on payment.
There's all kinds of folks that like to play games with that.
Yeah,
As we already know.
we have what we call our repeat offenders.
Yeah.
They're every year, and I'm sure once they realize that they don't have to pay August before February is due and they won't be on tax sale, we will have a larger list that is 3 installments instead of just 2. Because yes, they learn the game.
And the state dictates this timing? We don't have an option?
Yes, yeah, they had a full thing this last year where they were revamping the Board of Abatement and the tax sale process. Due to, my understanding is there was a legal case in another town that did some things that they should never have done to begin with. And so they decided to change the rules for everybody.
Question on, sorry, go back.
That's okay.
Page 2, maybe this is a Scott question, but I assume police fines, the revenue's down because the lack of staff, right?
Well, it can be part of it. I mean, remember that highway safety generates revenue, but we are not in the business of being a revenue generator, if that makes sense. We are in the business, however, of highway safety. So, but yes, we were down 2 anyhow for the road patrol officers, and so now we're up to full staffing, and we may see that move again. Highway safety is still a priority in town because of all the traffic. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions?
All right.
Christine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, how's that?
You're welcome, Tom.
There you go.
Again.
Thank you, Christine.
All right, I move that we go into the liquor commission.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The Liquor Commission to possibly approve a request to cater permit for an event at Quail Inn on June the 21st, 2025, from 4 to 10 p.m., catered by W.I. Foster. and they are an equal opportunity operation, so they have a request to cater on, oh, that's someone different?
Yeah, you gotta break it up.
Yeah, okay, but it's at Quill Inn. These are both
Yeah.
at Quill Inn. That's, I guess, my point. Request to cater on June the 12th at Quail Run from 5 to 8 PM, and that is catered by La Casita.
Sorry to interrupt you. I can't, if you want to break them up, because I
Oh,
can't.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
We can vote on the first one. How about that?
There you go.
A request to cater permit for an event at Quail Inn on June the 21st, 2025, from 4 to 10 PM, catered by W.I. Foster. We will have an abstention.
So
Wait,
no question.
Scott can't make the motion here, guys, okay?
I make a motion.
All right, make the motion, Tony.
request to cater a permit for an event at Quail Run on June 21st, 2025, from 4 to 10 PM, catered by W.I. Foster.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
Oh, we have motion and a second to approve a cater permit for an event at Quail Hollow on June 21st, 2025, catered by W.I. Foster. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Nay?
Okay, one abstention.
Yeah, you don't have any more in here, do you? No. Okay, so a request to cater on June the 12th at Quail Run from 5 to 8 PM, catered by La Casita. A second-class renewal from Family Dollar Stores of Vermont. A first and second class and outside consumption renewal by the Hermitage Club at 183 Gatehouse Trail.
Okay, someone like to make a motion?
Move to approve as read and written.
I thought you were just gonna say so moved. Come on, huh?
Whoa.
All right,
Gotta find Taylor.
all right. We have a motion and a second to approve Family Dollar, second-class renewal for the Family Dollar Store of Vermont, the first and second class and outside consumption renewal for the Hermitage Club. And June 12th, catering situation at Quail Hollow by La Casita. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, other business and correspondence.
Yes.
God,
Give
no.
us a second. This is going to be narrated by Marcia.
I forgot to join this, so.
So she's trying to bring up some pictures as you guys voted on, I don't know, a little while ago about the Green Road Bridge. You heard about the bridge, the deck's falling in, beams. Today we put the new deck on. So it's not completely done, but the deck, the road's open to the general public. It just needs a little more gravel work to get the road completely shaped up and the debris picked up. So she's trying to get pictures.
So Jimmy Weasley can get to his house?
He absolutely can.
There you go.
He visited most of the day with us.
He did. I thought he'd hang out.
Him and I think everybody that lives on the road full-time sat there to watch. I think it was the must-be, not picking on elderly people, but they had nothing better to do today except sit there and watch.
They can't get TV down there. That's
And they enjoyed it. They appreciated it. They were so happy to see this work done. Some of them have dates and knew when the last time any bridge work was done there. It was pretty impressive and they were very happy. They took a lot of their own pictures. When we're done tonight, if you're around and you want to see more pictures, I have an iPad that's sitting on Jess's desk charging that you can look through all the pictures. I took some videos and pictures. We closed the road at 7 o'clock this morning and at 3:30, we were starting to pick up some of the stuff down there and bring some of our stuff back. There is a debris down there to pick up, but it's come out very nice. Very happy with the crane guy and Renault Brothers, however you say their name, that did the concrete work. Everything went well. So I was hoping maybe I can show you a picture, but
I'm getting there, I'm getting
Patience, my dear ones.
So Renault poured the concrete?
they made the deck and they brought it. It's two
Okay,
pieces.
Okay.
So there's in the middle of it somewhere. There's your orange or yellow orangey gravel. That's the new color. So it's just a little bit different. It's gonna be lighter.
Oh, hold on.
It's two pieces. You can see the seam in the middle. The guardrails are on. we had to put cement blocks on the corner, so those wooden posts are not there anymore. We'll fan the road out. The road is wider than that picture. She must not have the very end picture.
No,
If you show another picture, I can.
I meant to start on this side.
Were these
Ooh.
cement pieces at, down by Tula's last night?
They were,
Yeah.
Toulouse, yeah, 190, 100.
Yes.
Yes, yes, they brought them yesterday there, they staged them there, so after the crane showed up, so there's the crane setting them, there's the old bridge. They had a forklift machine there, a Lowell, they picked the wood off, broke it up, and they folded that whole bridge right up into pieces. And then the next picture, maybe if she can get it to go to the next one.
Could you tell whether or not it was worse than you
I only
thought?
grabbed a couple.
Okay, so this picture here, there's the steel I-beams. They have no flange left on either end. They couldn't believe that we were still driving across it with our trucks. It was bad. It definitely not hooked down when they took the deck off. Now they were able to just take that forklift and pick that up and break that into two pieces and move it out of the way.
Really?
Then they cleaned everything up and
Let's see.
drilled.
Then there was this one, and then there's only two more. Yeah.
So that is a prefab two-part bridge.
Yes.
Because the wings were good.
Yeah, the walls, the concrete, they were very happy with what they found. I mean, we already had it shoveled off once, but they cleaned everything up. There was no big problems with it. They're very happy. The end on Route 100, so the end where the crane is, the bridge is drilled. Each one of them pieces has 4 bolts drilled right down through the concrete, and they're anchored on that head wall. This head wall on this end, there's no bolts because things need to be able to move, so they can't hook it to that end. So it's hooked on one end, sits on the other end. You can see in that picture there, closest to us, there's some rubber foam, and then they poured cement. I couldn't figure out why they were putting the foam down. It was to hold the quick set mortar. And they put shims to make sure everything was perfectly level, so it was sitting evenly. It's just as strong, if not stronger, than any other bridge in town. It's not rated
So
for
why
anything.
don't they do that here?
Well, that's what they're talking about, only on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Remember, that is
Yeah.
if they can, and we're still waiting for that scoping report to see whether or not they're gonna do it that way. But it's a much larger scale than this.
This is, that's what it was. It's we'll be down there tomorrow, and short of the pavement, it will be done until it's paved. After tomorrow.
Very nice.
So you bring it, oh, you've already brought in the gravel.
Yeah, so there's gravel,
Yeah.
we stockpiled gravel there, so it was there when they got it set and they said, okay, we had it there, we were able to,
Paving the whole road or just the bridge?
just the other side of the loader. There's a little hill there, we're going up the hill and stopping.
And this side, anything?
And this side all the way to the blacktop, because it's blacktop already right to where.
You paved the bridge as well?
They do not, so that was something I learned. Because I was talking to them about, there was a membrane that was supposed to go on the bridge. If it's paved, and they said, why are you paving the bridge? I said, because I want to be a continuous thing, I want the bridge to last longer. And they said, it'll last longer if you don't pave it, because you can clean it off. And we're having problems, just like this bridge, this is a concrete deck bridge, with pavement. If the membrane, for some reason, gets a little tear or anything, you have to put a rubber membrane down. If it gets a tear, water gets between it, it blows the blacktop off. And then it starts eating the concrete away. This way, the concrete's exposed, you can actually clean it off. This will be swept off.
But wouldn't salt affect the concrete, having being direct right on it instead of?
No, because it will wash off. When it rains, it's gonna wash off.
So the recommendation
The
was just
problem
to
is,
leave it.
Yeah.
if we put the blacktop over it, the salt gets in it and then eats it. And that's Lake Raponda, we're starting to have a little bit of issues on the Higley Hill end with that bridge.
Oh.
Potholes are popping up, and it's the rubber membrane they used is not a laminate anymore, so it's all peeling up and salt gets inside it. This road won't get salt except runoff from the state road.
Okay.
Because it's all dirt rest way, and it's all the way at the end of the town, it's out of the way, it's gonna get plowed and sanded, and that's what's getting, because it's not that much blacktop.
Okay.
All right.
What do we decide the total cost on this is?
Total estimated was 160, but it's gonna come in less than that, because I've actually, when John asked if we could, how much it was gonna cost, I've been trying to keep track of it better with hourly rates, and I'm using the FEMA rates for the equipment, so I can give you a cost of what it costs and how much we're gonna save. I plan on having that for you guys when we're done, just so you have an idea.
Nice, looks good.
So just happened today, so.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks, Marshall.
Thanks for bringing me. Thank you.
I'm not gonna die yet here, not yet.
We're hoping not, no.
3.5 years.
3.5 more years.
Scott?
So you,
Well, it's me, okay. Select board comments. Charles, want to start?
Not much on this, from the select board side, but on the chamber side, our new executive director started this week, and I'm sure she'll be coming to the select board probably in June to introduce herself.
Who is it?
Mary Ann, one moment,
So funny last night.
Montana, Joe Montana's wife.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Marion, what?
Marion Montana.
Montano.
All right.
She started this week.
Good.
Anthony's still training her, so I'm sure she'll come down the pipeline sometime.
Okay,
That's it.
that's good news.
That's
Negative.
None,
No. Tony, how are you, John?
none?
Nothing.
Hey, I got a question to ask, though. It's only because somebody made such a big stink of it.
That's a pretty case.
There's a house being rebuilt
Says
on Lake
comment.
Laponda Road,
Says comments here.
okay? And the road in front of it, I mean, they must have been there during mud season, whatever. It's really bad news.
Yes, sir.
What's that? That's a Reed Construction. It's
Yes.
John Coggin's old house. And
Sure.
so
Sits below the road, yeah. Or
what do you
used
do
to
with
sit-
that?
It used to sit below the road.
Is there some kind of, something that can be done for that, especially with, Memorial Day weekends coming?
I know. Talked to Matt, me and Matt were talking to ask about the complaints, because we're starting to get a lot of complaints about them. They take, I don't know if you've been through there.
I only went through there once because somebody had said something. I couldn't believe how bad the road was. And that's just within the past
So
week.
did you go at night
No,
on a weekend?
no, I went out during the week, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
And you fit through there?
Huh?
And you fit through?
Oh, you barely fit through, because they have
There was
10
a,
cars lined up.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
They
no,
also,
There's no room there.
there's no room.
well, of course, they had the lift, and the lift was jutted way out. Yeah, you had to squeeze by and,
Okay, so
right?
you see what I'm getting at here is
Okay.
they're taking up all the road. Me and Matt were talking about it some today, because now I guess the other place that started construction again is out on Island Road, and they like to take up the whole road.
they had a big dump truck there when I drove by today, the entire road, so I had to go around on the shoulder to get around them. But yeah,
So Reed got a permit last fall to fix the wall to be in the right of way. Before he started on the house. They fixed the wall, the equipment come, gone, left, then all of a sudden the house supposedly fell in, so they took the whole house down. And he has not gotten another permit to be in the road. And there ain't a lot we can do when they take up the whole road to get through there.
I can't imagine that the neighbors next door, the Paradise. Paradis?
Yeah.
The guy
I mean,
with the
they
blacktop
gotta be-
driveway,
Isn't it his building? That one's not his building?
I don't believe it.
the two neighbors are not there full time, they just came up
Oh.
recently.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be happy if I had a house on Lake
But
Laponda.
the issue with that is that it's around the curve, so if I'm driving, I have to stop, just make sure no one is
No,
coming the
no,
other way. Because otherwise, one of us is backing up.
Yeah.
Right, yes, me and Matt were talking about this today at the end of the day, because he's gotten complaints, he was there today.
I can imagine he would have.
He's had other complaints, so I gotta go out there, because the other thing is, as I think, we rebuild a section of road every year out there. And that's the week, it's January 1st or 2nd, whatever that Monday is this
June.
year. Or sorry, June, sorry. And we need to get out one way or another with a truck. And I can't be worried about, one, if a car comes to the road that's gonna be closed just on the other side of where they're working and can't turn around because there's no room. That's one issue. And then on the other end, if they're working on the island end and they're blocking the road, we have to get all our trucks out of there. I mean, I could do the math quick, but it's a lot of trips in and out of there with trucks. And they're blocking the roads on each end. Island Ponds, or the Island Road has gotten lots of warnings. Because they block all the road, now we have to.
So, I don't know the answer, but can't we not allow them to have construction during that week while we're doing the vote?
Well, that's,
Yeah,
I mean, the difficulty is, first of all, we probably need to have a sit down with everybody and then determine whether or not we're gonna require flaggers there. We could require flaggers, they're on our road.
that's the roughest side. I mean, that's worse than it was in mud season.
yeah, well, the rest of the road, except we put some culverts in, we got one more to do next week. It's been graded once.
Oh,
Right, but we can't do in front of the house because we couldn't, when we were there grading, they didn't say, oh my God, the town's working, let's try to move. Oh no, they line up one after another right up the road.
Do we know how long they're gonna be there on the, not the island one, the other one?
On the rate they're going, probably 2-3 years.
2 or 3 years.
They got the frame up pretty quick, but I think there's a lot
Then
of.
it's come to slow down
Yeah.
real fast. It's, yeah.
Sounds like we're gonna have to have a powwow.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and that's
me
what him and Matt
Matt
were
were
talking about today.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's where we're at, and Matt's suggesting that we tell them they're gonna have to quit work here pretty soon for the holiday weekend and get their stuff out of the road.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
Oh, and-
good thing that the weather's gonna be crappy, so less people have snow.
that's the benefit.
You're gonna have snow, so no worries.
Right.
Gonna be able to get the plow through.
And then another highway thing, is Jacksonville doing work on 100 South next weekend?
State is, yes.
State, were they detouring Wilmington Crossroads?
I'm assuming, I didn't read that sign when I went by, but I know because Renaud Brothers is actually doing it, so I know what they're doing. They're changing the culvert right there
Yep.
that crosses the road that dips out of sight. And yeah, I was surprised to hear they're doing it on a weekend.
Yep, June 7th and 8th, yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, it's because school's in session, they can't close the road during the day if they have bus route down there.
That's a good possibility. I was
Because kids have
surprised.
to be able to get on the bus, they can't tell kids they can't get on the bus.
But yes, they're doing it, and then in sometime starting July to October, they're doing the big project down in Jacksonville. So the road's gonna be a mess down there, because the municipal center, they're putting down box. Down, culvert down through
Oh, the
there.
municipal center, yes,
That
that's
whole
correct.
bridge thing, $1 million that they just, they're doing there.
However, kudos to the select board down there. They took down that house that had been damaged across from
Yes.
the Bemis's.
Yes.
Wow, that was a nice one.
The one that was on fire?
Yeah, the
Yes,
one
the
that
one that
supposedly
burned.
was an arson.
Right across from almost Bemis is there.
Okay.
Yep.
It's gone.
FEMA bought it. It was a FEMA buyout.
What, oh, they did? Right.
Yep. I believe they're taking Robin Kingsley's house down too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, well, Robin accepted that FEMA buyout for that too.
Uh-huh. So you have a place to go?
He's going south.
Oh, is he? So he just had it out, right? So Derek is gonna take it off.
He's already took it over.
Okay, well, that's good. Derek's a good guy, good guy. Okay. Anybody have anything else for the good of Wilmington here today?
Town manager?
No? All right, Scott? All right, back to you. The town manager's report. How's that?
So when talking about bridge number 31, we're still waiting for an update on the scoping report. And I'm told now I reached out to VHP, they've had some turnover. So some of the people who have been here are probably not going to be visiting. But one of the gals, and I forget her name, is still on the project. The big boss sent me an email back saying that as soon as they get together with the state never responded to me, but VHB did. And I'm hoping that we get a report. They're saying within the next couple of months, but I was hoping we'd have it by now. But I've not. I don't know what the holdup is or whatnot. But any rate, everybody's having turnover, same as we are. PVR appeals, we do not have dates on those yet, and that was Kaplan and Wilson from the BCA. I think Kathy Larson and Anthony Martino from Wilmington Green Up Coordinators. You may have seen their. I think they have a letter to the editor, and basically thanking the Wilmington Green Uppers. Vermont's Green Up Day was on Saturday, May 3rd. Despite the soggy weather, folks in Wilmington still came through. More than 54 volunteers helped pick up roadside litter. They were of all ages, including at least 2 different sets of grandparents introducing their grandchildren to Green Up. There were also folks representing Wilmington Works, Chimney Hill Homeowners Association, and the Wilmington Trail Committee. Volunteers filled up 150 Green Up bags as they covered 65 miles of our town roads. In addition, some town parking lots, several town trails, and Buzzy Town Park also received the Green Up treatment. As always, Wilmington's success depended on teamwork. We received assistance and support from the select board and many town employees. Thank you to the highway department. We received, we especially depended on Marshall Dix and the road crew. They went out after the weekend and collected the bags, tires, and other roadside litter that was collected by volunteers. The state road crew was out cleaning up along the state roads. Our friendly local landfill folks received several full Green Up bags. Generous donations also helped to make Wilmington's Green Up Day successful. 1A Coffee Roasters gave away free coffee to volunteers. Shaw's contributed water and snacks. The town offices, the Twin Valley Schools, and the Deerfield Valley News all provided publicity. The Wilmington Police reached out to make sure we were safe. Many local businesses and organizations helped by posting information on social media and allowing us to hang our Green Up Day posters on their walls, bulletin boards, and windows. The state organization, Green Up Vermont, provided the bags and posters. Thank you to everyone for your time, effort, and contributions. We're sincerely grateful for your participation. We couldn't function without it. And that was Kathy Larson and Anthony Martino, our Wilmington Green Up coordinators. Speaking of Buzzy Town Park, Marshall has a project in conjunction with, I think, working with the state to do some work at Buzzy Town Park in order to mitigate some of the floodwaters that we're seeing there. So some of the mess along the banks will be removed. There'll be a gentler slope. And if we can find some grant money, there'll be some plantings, but certainly grass. We can do the grass easy enough. And then we may have to find some money to do some of the plantings that they want us to do to reduce erosion. So there'll be some changes done on Buzzy Town Park. You remember the final stormwater master plan and conceptual designs. There were 3 that were specific to Wilmington itself, and then a couple of others one was up in Chimney Hill and related to Chimney Hill Association. Another one was by Shaw's, but anyhow, there were 3. And so what I've done at this point is ask them if they would do complete designs if there's grant money on the stormwater master plan. We'll see what those designs do. Marshall will be intimately involved in negotiating, I think, some of the work that they are thinking that we should do. And what that means is that some of the work that they want us to do is around the highway garage. And because we have a limited amount of property there, we want to be sure we still have space for our stored gravel and other material, things like that. Bridge on Green Road, you know. Jeff Nugent from WRC, Wyndham Regional Commission. He is a GIS planner, and he's assisting in updating the road erosion inventory for our municipal roads general permit. The total amount of this grant was $12,480, which incorporates an in-kind match. So essentially, we're getting $9,884, and then the in-kind typically is from highway working with Jeff Nugent. The Energy Committee is interested in placing solar on the public safety facility, and to that end, they've been working with the fire chief. Bob Boyce, the chair of the Energy Committee, has a preliminary estimate noting almost 40% federal tax credit to reduce cost, a payback period a little over 6 years. The electricity savings is estimated at almost $1 million over the life of the panels. I'm guessing the panel life is 20 years. I'm not sure. 30 years. And the solar system would produce 100% of the electricity demand for the building. Want to know the cost? Of course you want to know the cost.
Of course, that's here.
Let's guess.
Make our day.
Today's cost by one, I guess they went out and got actually 3 estimates, which is kind of impressive. But the total cost in today's dollar right today is $305,366. The federal tax credit today is $112,985 with a net cost of $192,381 is estimated. Anyhow, that's a project. I'm not aware of any grants that would pay for all that. So remember, all of our buildings, with the exception of public safety facility, belongs to a solar.
And the water bill.
And the water building is not yet. Belongs to a solar field. We get credits and all that business over on solid waste. Right. So we already belong to it, but those 2 buildings
Came after.
Yeah.
And there's no room on that program for those buildings to have.
because we asked. I don't know if I told you this, but the planning commission. Remember, the planning commission got a grant for their town plan, and WRC is their consultant for that. Recreation Commission is still hiring for their summer programs, including lifeguarding and
Swim
instructors. So on the transfer station, we've already posted for a change on operational times from Friday to Thursday. All other hours will stay the same. I informed the state of that. They're in the process of finalizing our certificate, and I am hoping that they will just give us their blessing that we can go ahead and do that. So right now, we're operating under the idea that they're going to give us the okay, which I hope they'll give me a verbal one. I don't see a real issue with doing that, but we always have to notify the state on any changes to the transfer station, and that's a change in hours only. So.
Right. When's the first date of the change? June what?
June 1st.
Well, that's the week that it starts, but it would be that Thursday.
Can you,
So the 4th or the 5th, whatever that Thursday is.
can you take one of the highway signs and put it on the bottom of the road to just
It's
say
been on
it's
the
there?
road.
I haven't done
Put
it.
his one on the
Sorry,
road
I've
into
been in
the
Nantucket,
transfer
okay?
On the road into the transfer station is something.
Yeah, there's a sign for anybody that says June 1st. Hours change.
We've changed the hours change from Friday to Thursday.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
And we'll be issuing something in the newspaper to.
Why does the state care?
We are under state regulations for the transfer station, landfill and state. So remember, we end up with 2 inspections at that site. One is for the closed landfill, and the other is for the transfer station. They regulate garbage.
Our hours are listed in the certification, so we have to let them know if we change our hours.
Oh, that's the simpler explanation.
Okay.
And you have to understand, we're still subordinate. It doesn't make any difference.
There should be some archaeological work going on along the Route 9 extension project. And that's all I have.
One other quick thing. I did call Town of Brattleboro and I've emailed your office trying to get a copy of the vacant building ordinance. And the reason I had to do it that way was that it's not shown on mine. The ordinances are not set up like that. So I did talk to one of the select board members. We talked about a lot of things. So we did not talk about this one in particular. but
Because he was your
We're
student.
just trying to see whether or not we can get a copy. We're just trying to take a look at this, obviously, for our own situation here in town. Anyway, that's pending.
Can you get it
But-
from Bob Fisher? He's Brattleboro's.
Yeah, but Bob can't hold on to ordinance. Okay, I wanted to actually talk to, what's his name, Potts there, the guy, the town manager, but he doesn't have an assistant anymore. They're not gonna hire one to him. So he's pretty well flat out, so but we'll see.
So one more quick thing, Brett Brown, if any of you know him, works on the highway, been here 27 years. He submitted his letter of retirement for the last week of June. So that we will be having a dinner,
Lunch.
a lunch, sorry.
Luncheon.
On June 26th,
That
I believe it's the Thursday, right? And Jess will be giving you guys a letter. You're invited to the garage at noon time. We will be providing the meal. If you'd like to come.
Thank you.
We'll send out reminders.
Jess will be
I have a
sending.
little email.
And Scott, you didn't mention that the Trails Committee has a new fundraising tool.
I did the last time.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yep.
Hey,
Yes, they're working on a new avenue to fundraise. So.
Motion to adjourn.
So have you posted Brett's position?
We have not.
We have not. Anybody in mind, by any chance?
When you say his position, can we be a little more specific?
Truck driver, okay, CDL,
No,
Do I have anybody in mind?
right. Okay, all right. All right. That being said,
no, we have to post.
I know, I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
whether or not, what the market's looking like right
They're an
now.
equal opportunity
Post.
employer.
Post or poach, whichever, okay, whatever we have to do.
Post, we have
All
to
right.
do, but we're probably not gonna get it done for a few months because we have to adjust our budget.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we have motion to adjourn, we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.